2, Lesson 8, Simple Interest. My first question to you is this. What is interest? What is interest? If I had to ask you what that was, and you had to explain to me, what would you tell me, Kaden? Yeah, you know what? The bank pays you for keeping your money there. That's what interest is. So, like Jaybird Savings Bank, we pay you for keeping your money in the bank. And interest can also go the other way. Let's say you borrow money from something for a car, or you borrow money for a car or a house or whatever. You pay interest on that money you earn. So let's say you borrow $10,000. You don't pay back $10,000. You're going to pay back more than $10,000 because the bank is going to charge you interest for using their money. Does that make sense to everybody? That's how the bank makes money, is that interest. Credit cards, they charge interest. Let's say you don't pay your credit card bill every month. Guess what? They charge you huge interest on your credit card bills. That's why people get in credit card debt, because they can't get rid of that interest. Yep. Because that extra interest, because he didn't get his credit card bill. Yeah. That's like a felony. You get in huge trouble for that. Oh. Oh. Well, that's not okay. Yeah, so if you don't pay your bills, maybe just throw it away. Like a lot of times I get credit card stuff in the mail, but it's because they want me to get a credit card through them. It's not a bill, so maybe that's what that was. Maybe they thought it was just junk mail. Threw it away. So yeah, they charge you interest for using their credit cards. That's why people can't get out of credit card debt. You know that the interest on a credit card is like 30%. So think of this. Let's say you have $100 on your credit card and you don't pay it, and they charge you 30%. Well, what's 30% of 100? $30. So now you owe $130. That's crazy. $30 you didn't even spend in the first place. They're going to charge you because you didn't pay that money back. That's why it's super important. If you have a credit card, you're paying it back timely, on time, because otherwise you're going to get in trouble. The difference between a debit card, you guys know what a debit card is? Okay, your debit card is actually connected to your bank account. It comes right out of your account. A credit card, what happens with that is if you use your credit card, let's say I have a Visa card. I swipe my Visa card. I don't pay that money. Guess who pays it? Visa pays that for me. Then Visa sends me a bill and says, we paid for you this for you, so now you got to pay us back. That's how a credit card works. Jacob. Yep. And some people use credit cards a lot. Some people don't use them at all. Like Jordan and I, we barely use them because we don't like paying a bill every month. Some people use it for gas all the time. Some people put different things on it because they maybe get rewards back. Like maybe they'll get cash back for using it. So if you ever see a commercial, it's like, oh, cash back because you use my credit card. Some people use it for that. Connor. Yep. Like a limit. Some of them have a limit, yeah, because think about it. Some people would keep spending and spending and spending and spending and spending and never pay it back. They would never, they'd be always out of their money. Yeah, some things do have a limit. Yep, 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 me too, me too. A lot of times I'll use a credit card, like if I'm buying something online and I'm not quite sure if it's legit, because I don't want people to get my credit card number or my debit card number, and then guess what? They have access to all of my money. They have access to every single cent in my account. So if I use a credit card, they really don't have access to my money. It's Visa that's going to be taking care of everything that happens. So there's a lot to think about. You're pretty young yet. You're lucky, but there's going to be a lot to think about in the future for you. So let's see. Interest. Here's some vocabulary words I have for you. Oops. Okay, the first one is simple interest. Okay. Simple interest is the amount paid or earned for the use of money. Principal is the amount of money deposited or borrowed. about interest. When you have money in a bank, you want a high interest rate because that means that they're going to pay you more money back. But what if you take a loan? Do you want your interest rate to be high or low? You want it to be low because that means you pay less money back. If it's high, that means you pay a lot of money back. So if you put money in a bank, you want the highest interest rate you can possibly have because that means you're going to get more money back for free. But if you take a loan out and you got to pay money back, you want a low interest rate because that means you pay a low amount back. The principal is the amount of money you take out or the amount of money you put in. So let's say I borrow $10,000 for a car. $10,000 is the principal. That's the initial amount that I'm going to take out. Or if I put in $10 to my bank account, that's my principal. That's the initial amount I put in. So like tomorrow, Jaybird Savings Bank, somebody's going to come in and probably put in $5 to their account. Guess what? That $5 is the principal that they put in tomorrow. Okay? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Anybody need this yet? Okay. Ready? All right, so here is the equation you're going to use today, and it's super simple. It's I equals PRT. So that's the first thing you need to write down is this, because this is the equation we are going to use today. I equals PRT. And all of those letters mean something, so you're going to want to know what all those letters mean. You're going to want to know what all this stuff means. So we're going to use these things today to figure out like what our interest rates are, or what we're going to make after we put money in the bank. I is interest, that's obvious. P is principal, that's obvious. R is your rate, so that's going to be a percentage. Okay? And then your T is your time, and we're always going to change it to years. And then guess what? You multiply them all together, you got P and R and T, and you get your interest. And we'll do a few practice problems together. All right, ready to give it a whirl? Okay, give you a few seconds yet. We'll give it a whirl. I always use my red marker. Did you guys notice that? I always use red. I don't know why. I'm going to use blue today. All right, you ready? Okay, so this is what you're going to see. It's actually probably going to be given to you in more of a story problem format, but I'll help you pick it apart to figure out what you have here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write my I equals P times R times T. Remember when they're all together, that means multiply. Remember that? Okay, so here's what happens. Arnold puts $580 into a savings account. What's $580 considered here? Not my interest. If he puts it in, that's going to be my principal. So that's where 580 is going to go. Oops. So if you want to do this with me to have a good example in your notebook, it'd probably be a good idea. So then the account pays 3% simple interest. What's 3%? No. Percent is the rate, remember? Because if you look down the R equals rate and it says percent, and then you got to change it to a decimal form. So guess what's going to go here then? If I change that to a decimal, what's it look like? 0.03. Very good. I'm always going to change my rate to a decimal format. Even if it's got a decimal in it already, I still have to move it how many spaces? 2 every single time. I can't tell you how many times I have people come and say, well, I just moved it 1 because I couldn't move it any farther. Can I move it no matter how many spaces I want? What do I put in those blank spaces? Zeros every time. So you're always moving it 2. Okay, so then it says, how much interest will we earn in 5 years? Well, what's 5? That's my time. Is it already in years? Okay, so times 5. And what I have left to find? My interest, right? All you're going to do is multiply these things together. So let's do that. Let's multiply the 3 things together. And I don't care which we multiply first. Some of you might want to multiply 580 and 5 first. Some of you might maybe rather multiply 0.30 and 5. You can do whatever you want. Because no matter what, you're going to come out with the same answer. I multiplied 580 and 5 first because I just didn't want to deal with my decimal right away. What's the matter, Cadence? 9 times 3 is 27. Carried my 2, 6, 7, 8. No matter what, some of you, what did you guys multiply by first? What did you guys do? You did it this way. I did it this way, and that's fine, but I do it this way because I want to don't deal with my decimal right away. Like, I want to multiply the whole numbers, and then I'll deal with my decimal at the end. That's my thinking. If you do it, you can do it however way you want. It does not matter to me. The only thing I'm going to ask of you is to make sure that you put your decimal in your answer in the right spot. Remember, if I have 2 spaces here, I have 2 spaces down here. And it always starts from this side. I've had people start from this side lately. Okay, so make sure you're starting from the right side. Now, I'm done. Guess how much interest that this guy, what did he borrow? Did he borrow money? Oh, he put it into a savings account. In 5 years, guess how much money he's going to make just in interest? $87 just for having his money in the bank for 5 years. That's how much money he's going to make for free. Isn't that awesome? The higher the percentage, the better money you're going to make if you have a good interest rate. So let's say I ask you, okay, he makes $87 in interest. What if I ask you now, how much money is this guy going to have all together at the end of 5 years? What am I going to do then? What is this guy going to have together at the end, Jacob? What am I have to do? Yeah, 580 plus 87. And after that 5 years, if he doesn't put any more money in his account, that's how much he's going to have in his account. That's awesome. You made 87 bucks for free, people. Isn't that awesome? So be careful today, because it's going to ask you certain things. It'll probably say, what did he earn in just interest? What did he earn in just interest? 87. But if he has all of this together at the end of 5 years, how much is he going to have all together? So you have to be careful with what they're asking you. Okay? Not hard, right? It's not difficult. Let's try another one. How much will Arnold earn in 6 months? Still 580 at 3%. Okay, so we're going to go back to I equals PRT, P times R times T. We're still going to use Arnold. We'll call him Arnie. And what do we know about Arnold this time? What do we know? Do we know some of those things in there already? We know his principal, 580. Okay, 580. Do we know his rate? 3%, which is 0.03. Thank you. Now, what about that time? Okay, but remember, time is always in years. So you can use 0.5 or you can use half as a fraction. Does that make sense? So don't use months. Like, don't do 6, because that's in here. It says 6 years then. You have to change it to years. So I know that's half of a year. And then you can multiply them all together. So let's see what he earns at 3%, just putting his money in for 6 months, what this guy's going to earn. Now we got 2 decimals going on here. Maybe we'll do this first. Is that right? Yes. Make sure I'm doing this right. Am I doing something wrong? I'm doing okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's easy. Did you get $8.70? Very good. So that's going to be our interest. $870. So that's how much she's going to earn and just keeping it for 6 months. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but $8 you can go out to eat with. So that's how much he earns. Now let's figure out what would he have at the end of those 6 months. If he didn't put anything else into his account, what would he have at the end of all 6 months? What would he have in that account? You could probably do it in your head. 588.70. How are we doing so far? Questions? This really isn't too bad, is it? Let's do... Okay, let's do this one. I want to do this one with you. Debbie. We'll call her Deb. Has 220 in her Jaybird savings account. What is that already? My principal. Okay, so 220. I like it when you rewrite this. I equals P times R times T, so you can see exactly what you have. This is in her Jaybird savings bank. Now this is like real life, guys. This is real life because guess what? This is actually our interest rate. And 4 months, that's when we pay interest every year. So this is like somebody's real life bank account right here. So 220, I'm going to pay 0.5% interest, but guess what? We got to move my decimal over 2 spaces. So it's 0.005. Every 4 months, can I use 4 months for my time? I have to be year. So 4 months, there's 4 out of 12, right? So what's that fraction? It's 1/3. 1/3. 4 out of 12 would be 1/3 of a year, right? So times by 1/3. And I would rather have you keep it in fraction form. Don't worry, I'll show you what to do. So what do you think the first thing? Let's multiply these two things, don't you think? That'll be the easiest. So 0. Okay, so you guys got $1.10. Okay, so $1.10 over 1 times 1/3. See how I'm doing that? I'm just going to do it in fraction form now. And it's going to come up to be probably a terrible number. So it's going to be 10. It's going to look like this. Right? Are you all with me? I just took this times this and this times this, right? So now I need to reduce that or divide, so it's going to be just an atrocious number, but that's okay. And I'm probably going to keep, it's going to keep repeating. So approximately how many cents is she going to earn in 4 months? 37 cents. So Debbie's going to earn 37 cents every 4 months. That's not even if she puts money in yet. Like if she puts more money in, she's going to earn more and more and more interest. Here's the thing, guys. I bank at American Bank, and I get 0.25% interest, where Jaybird Savings Bank, you get 0.5%, so you get double what I get if you bank here. And so if this was my account, I would get half of this. I would get like 16 cents interest. See how much better that the Jaybird Savings Bank treats you than the bank treats me? And it's the same bank. So just a little food for thought. That means you should put your money in our bank account because we give you better interest than anybody else. Just to let you know. Way better interest. You would earn 37 cents. I would earn 16. Not fair. Not fair at all. Okay, let's see. Let's do... I don't want to do any of those. I want to make up my own. Can we make up our own? Okay. Let's make up some that we don't know, like, how much years it is. We're going to make up so we don't know what something is elsewhere. So let's say my principal, we'll just make it up. We'll say it's $1,500. And let's say my R is like 5%. Okay? And let's say my rate PR, let's say I don't know my time, but my interest is like, I don't know, 50 bucks. Okay, so do you have something in here you don't know? Okay, so let's write I equals PRT out. And let's fill in what we know. Okay, so we know this is 50. We know my principal is 1500. We know my rate, which is 0.05. But we don't know, we don't know the time. How do you think I'm going to solve something like this? First, okay, I am going to divide eventually, but let's do things inside before we divide. Can we multiply these two together first? Let's multiply those two together first, and then we'll divide, okay? So, let's see, 1500. I made an easy number, so hopefully it comes out fairly decent. 0, 0, 2. Oops. Did you guys get 75? Okay, so let's rewrite this. And let's say, okay, 50 equals 75. Do you see how I did that? I just multiplied those times t. Now what am I going to do, Jasmine? Now I'm going to divide. So, what am I going to divide by, though? What number's with the variable? 75. So what am I going to divide by? 75. So then, be 50 divided by 75. Let's see. 75 goes into 500. How many times? Not 6, maybe 6. 42, 43, 44, 45. That'd be about right, right? What? 6? I think it's 6. Anybody else doing some with me? Let's see, that's a 0, 3, 6. Okay, so 6. Let's keep going here then. Minus 450. Oh, yep, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to subtract. I get 50. Guess what's going to keep happening? Okay, so 0.666. What's that in a fraction? 2/3. So, what's my time? 75. Up here, Cadence. So, remember when I put everything in that I knew? And I multiplied those two? Guess what? Those two things came to 75. Okay? And then I can finish out. So, my answer, my time is actually 2/3 of a year, which would be 8 months. I thought those were better numbers than that. I thought it was going to turn out better. Yeah. There might be. That's why I'm throwing one in here now. I want to make sure we get one. Should we try another one of those to make sure we got it? Okay. Is that alright? Should we try another? Are you good, Cadence? You want me to wait? I'll be more than happy to wait. Let me look through here. Yep. You bet. Cream chicken on a biscuit. That was tricky. I don't know. I'll try to make up some better numbers. I don't know if I got better numbers for you. Okay? You guys want to make one up? Anybody? I don't know how it'll turn out, but I equals P R T. Okay, so what are we going to look for? What do you want to look for? Time again? Should we do time again? Make that my question mark? Okay, so what's my principal? Let's make it easy numbers. No, let's make them high, like 5,000 or something. 5,000. We can do 50. I don't care. But you got to remember, then your numbers are going to turn out really low, probably. The higher your numbers, the bigger the number the answers are going to be. Let's do 5,000 for your principal. And my interest rate, what do you want your interest rate to be? 6%? 7%? Oh, that's a tax rate. Should we do, let's make it easy. Should we do 5%? Should we just keep it at 5? Alright, we'll keep it at 5. And then your interest, what are you going to earn? Like, $1,000? Should we do 1,000? Okay, so we know our I, we know our P, we know our R, we know T? Nope. So Cadence, I think this is where you got confused before where I got that 75. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to multiply those two. Okay? So 5,000. Holy cow. 250? Did I do that too fast? Sorry, did I yell it out? I didn't mean to do that. So 1,000, then I'm going to rewrite it, equals 250 times T. Oh, this is going to turn out really good. Yay! I should remember this one for my next class. So now I'm going to divide by 250. So it'll be 1,000. Yep. And I don't know, what is it? 4? Is that right? Yeah. So how many years? 4 years. Nice work. Nice work. Way to go. What if, can I give you one more quick? Please? Please? Okay. Let's do, principal is, we'll just stick with $400. We'll do your rate is, we'll do 2%. Okay? Oh, we'll stick with 5%. That'll be easy. Not 0.5, 5%. And let's do your time as a year. Okay? I want to know what your interest rate is. Or what you're going to pay in interest. So, 400 times 0.05 times 1. Do you even really need a times by 1? No. So, 400. Is it like 20 bucks? Okay, so let's say $20 is your interest, right? Now let's say the question asks you this. How much interest are they going to get in 1 month? How can I figure out how much interest they're going to get in 1 month? If this is what they get in a year, what am I going to do, Cadence? Divide by 12. That's going to tell me how I make in 1 year. It's not going to turn in a month. I guess it's not going to turn out great, but 1, let's see, 8 goes in 7 times, 6 times. It's going to keep happening. So about what am I going to make in a month then? What's my interest every month? About $1.66, $1.67. I know there's one like that in the book, and it asks you, how much do they pay in a month? First start with a year, then divide by 12 to figure it in a month. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, you know what they want you to do? If they want you to figure out in a month, they want you to do this. Times by 1/12. Well, that's no fun. Do it as a year, divide by 12, then you can figure out what it is in a month. And I know there's one like that in your homework today. I think this is the easier way. Because who wants to multiply by 1/12? Anybody? Does anybody want to do that? I don't. Yep. No, I don't think so. I think it always just says how much are they going to pay in a month. I believe. You got about